everybody, welcome to the MycoAlan show. Sorry, I got a new light. It's doing some cool shit. Anyways, we'll get some regular lighting going here just to sorry. Okay, volume's working. Happy, what's going on? Good morning, everybody. Good afternoon, some people. Hello, Happy, and hello, Justin. Nice to see you. Yeah, I guess you came from the hospital. You feeling okay? What happened? I know Brave broke his wrist. I know that's not. I don't think you're the same person. I'm pretty sure you're a different person. So what happened? You okay? Hope you're feeling better. Ed might be stopping by today, guys. Ed Grand. I talked to him on Facebook a little while ago. I gave him the link. If he's not busy, maybe he'll stop in. Got a few things to show everybody. We got an announcement for the next raffle that's going to happen in this month. The last raffle went off pretty much without a kink. Shout out to Pheno Dreams. We got a little confused. I apologize. I guess he wanted to take it and give it away on his channel and IG instead. I want or donate it to someone. It got a little mixed up, but he's glad that it went to somebody that really needed it. I talked to the winner, Curious Michael. He set it up. I put some pictures up. He absolutely loves it. He's trying to figure out what to do next. He's never had this opportunity, so he's doing great with that. So anyways, yeah, so that went off without a hitch. But the next raffle, this is the way it's going to work, guys. We're going to draw the raffle. If you win, once you contact me, if you got like 24 hours, you decide who you want to give it to, if you want to give it away or you keep it. Because I'm not going to play. I don't want to be the bad guy because I want this to be completely upfront. So when you win, you're going to get notified. You're going to tell me who to send it to. Don't take 2 weeks to figure it out. You got a day or two because, prices change nowadays. So if I'm raffling something and I'm planning on it being $1,000 and all of a sudden it's $1,500, there's a big issue there for me and I'm going to have to eat it. And I don't want to do that. So you got 24 hours after we talk to decide where it's going to go. I'm going to ship it to who you tell me to. I don't give a shit because you win. You do with it as you please. It's getting shipped once. That's the way it's going to be. That's the only fair way I can do it. And I think that's perfectly fair. So the winner will have the opportunity to do whatever the hell he wants with his prize. If he wants to give it away, he can give it. He or she or they or them can give it away to whoever they want. I don't care. It's not my problem. I am giving it away to the winner of the raffle. They choose. I'm not choosing because that's not fair. It's not fair for me to choose who receives it. It's not fair for me to wait 2 weeks to give it to somebody so they choose who to give it to because the pricing could change. So you're going to get your prize shipped to you. And you do it, and if within 24 hours you tell me, okay, don't ship it to 123 Main Street, ship it to 567 South Street, fine, I don't care. It's getting shipped once, and it's all going to be recorded, and that's the way it is. Because I don't want to feel like the bad guy. I felt horrible after I found out that we got a little bit of miscommunication. First message a couple weeks ago, he said, "I'm buying a ticket, but I want you to donate it to someone. I want it donated to someone that needs it." Fine, that was the end of the message. I talked to him, and then he made a comment, donate it, I'll even post you in my feed. I misinterpreted that. It was completely my fault. I thought the comment was, go ahead, donate it, because he knew that my intentions were to re-raffle it, that I wasn't going to, pick somebody, because I'm not picking the winner. The winner's random. So I apologize if anything was confused on that. It was not my intention. Again, that was my first raffle. I'm trying to do this for the community and make everybody gain a little something. We got our 2 consolation prizes. They're each getting 7 or 8 LCs that all tested clean from my my recent batch. Happy and Mini. So those are going out Monday. I apologize. It took a little while because I had to test the LC. It was still testing. They came out clean. So those will be going out Monday or maybe Tuesday if I can. I'm pretty sure I'll get to the. Oh, wait, is tomorrow holiday? No, that's next week. Yeah, it'll go to the post office tomorrow. Yeah, Happy, thank you. That's the only way I can do it, to be fair. And again, the next raffle is going to be a choice. It's going to be one of two different ways to do it. I haven't decided fully yet. I'm thinking of doing either a first prize with a big couple prizes, or doing a first and a second place prize, or 2 items, and you can choose which one you want to be in the raffle for. Okay. The main 2 prizes are probably, don't quote me on this, going to be a 2x2 FFU and a Presto 23 quart. So I would love to give them both or give them separately. Some people don't need a pressure cooker though, and they need a fan. So bear with me. I'm going to decide by Tuesday which way it's going to go. Please give me some feedback in the comments or in the bottom after. Let me know what you guys think is best. And that's how we'll do that. We'll figure that out, and I'll have posts up, and then we'll have another chance for somebody to win another prize. Good morning, JC Cat. Hey, it looks like we got Ed over here. What's up? Let's see if I can get Ed on
here. Hey,
Ed,
how's it going?
Good morning, Ed. Thank you for stopping in.
How are you?
I'm
sound
doing
okay?
Yeah, you sound. How do I sound? Okay.
Sounds good. Yeah, I've been having trouble with my speakers and all this sound shit as usual, but I think it's working.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, it looks fine. Sounds fine. Yeah, I was just telling everybody, I just did a raffle. I don't know if you saw last week, a 2x4 fan filter even that I raffled it off.
Yeah.
That was pretty cool. The guy that got it's absolutely lovely. He sent some pictures. So I'm starting up a second raffle this month. So that should be fun. I'm debating whether to do
I watched it.
So,
I was thinking about doing one of those, but man, it seems like like when you so much chaos, like what you were just describing.
Yeah, I'm just going to keep it simple. The winner gets it. That's the way it is. I don't want to play the game of who's going to give it to who and this and that. It's not my problem. I'm just trying to do something good for people.
Yeah, I know. It's funny. It's like one of those like no good deed goes unpunished kind of shit. You're like, I'm trying to do good things, but like it's just
it was completely, it was a miscommunication, but it was a simple one. He wanted to give it to somebody random that needed it, and it went to someone random that needed it. That's what matters. It's someone that needed it, got it.
Yeah.
And he's happy. He's okay with everything, so we're good. He's actually been sending me a print, I think, of something. He got some exotics or something. I don't know. Anyway, it's all good. Good to see you for coming on. It's nice to have another guest. My last guest is indisposed for a while, apparently. So he's not going to be around anymore.
that could mean a lot of things in our hobby. It's like they're in jail.
Yeah, that basically, the last guy I had ended up getting in trouble. So.
Oh, for real? Oh shit.
Yeah.
Well. Oh yeah.
I'm going to do a public service announcement. If you guys are on probation, parole, or anything like that, don't grow mushrooms in your house. They can do random house checks.
I've wondered about that. It seems really, or don't go on the internet, or don't post pictures on Facebook.
Exactly.
I just started growing again now that I'm back home on probation. It's like, why are you posting that on Facebook?
So I wanted to give a little public service announcement now. If you're on probation or parole, don't start showing you're giving mushrooms out, or selling them or any of that.
I think so. That's like guaranteed. What do they call recidivism or something like that? It's like
rate on people that have been in jail is like 90%. There's a reason they're not the smartest people.
Dude, totally. I hate to say that, but it's like, wow, maybe there's a reason why you end up in jail.
I've been in jail. I'm not gonna lie. I've been in jail. I've been through it. But you know what? I'm not on probation. It's been over 15 years since I've had any issues with the law. I'm okay. I looked into my laws in my area before I did anything, growing anything, and I can handle whatever the repercussions are on that. That's fine. But I can't, you got to be smart, people.
Yeah.
So,
but it's kind of the same when you listen to people who have been married 5 times. You're like,
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Really, the 5th? You're going for the 5th time? Really? You lost all your money 3-4 times before. Now you're gonna try a 5th?
If you give away half your stuff 5 times, how much do you have left?
Yeah, I know. That's like one of those math problems, logarithmic decrease or whatever. Half of a half of a half.
You'd reverse the Fibonacci sequence.
Yeah, exactly. It's like serial dilution. I'm gonna serial dilute my income every time.
Oh god. Oh, let's see who we got here. Hey, what's up, Kat? What's up, Justin? What's up, Nerdy? Just saying hi to a few people here. Oh.
Yeah, it's nice. It was nice. It's Sunday night here. It's pretty boring. I did a bunch of crap, and I'm just like, man, you do like 3-4 hours of Myco work, and you're like, I kind of want to take a break.
Yeah, I know. I just went through a bunch of my stuff. A lot of the little bags I have to, tell people, the bags I started, I got a lot of them. I think the CVG was too moist for bag grows. And I think what happens is it's getting a little bacterial.
That's the same trouble I had. And my filters on my bags here aren't the right, like, permeability or whatever.
Yep.
And so the whole air exchange thing doesn't work, and I just end up the shit rots.
Yeah, so I got a bunch of bags on some new CVG that's a lot less moist. I did an actual, field capacity on each one instead of just using a big batch field capacity. I did by hand, and they're a lot nicer. They're drier and they look a lot better because I got about a dozen shoe boxes going, and they're going great. And half of them have the same CVG, but it was hand squeezed each time. So yeah, I think I got an issue with moisture on my bag grows. So I got some new ones going and see what they do.
Yeah, I noticed here too, I was using bricks for a while, like these big 5-kilo bricks, and then I switched to the loose stuff, and oh man, things got so much better.
Yeah.
It was just the quality different, like the moisture retention on the brick stuff. I don't know, maybe they sell like really poor quality stuff here. Like it was wet, but it wasn't like absorbing into the coir.
Yeah.
It was just like kind of like straw almost. Like if you ever tried a wet straw, like it doesn't ever seem to really be wet.
Yeah, it sits on the outside, so it's hydrophobic or whatever.
Yeah, and that bacteria love that shit, man. Any of that like loose water moving around in there, they just love it.
So I got a bunch. I had a couple, 2-3 dozen bags. I got probably 12 of them I had to throw out just because they just smelled chemically bacterial. There was I don't like it. It's gone. That's my new rule. If I don't like it, it's gone. I can make more. But yeah,
same here.
I took the advice from you actually.
Yeah, our noses are probably, it's become aware to me that like my nose is like, even when I open plates sometimes, like when I unwrap a plate, I can smell there was something that it looked like mycelium, and I unwrapped it and immediately it was like, whoa, it was like rotten vegetable kind of smell. And I was like, oh, but it looked pretty like mycelium, but it wasn't changing color or anything. And it was growing about the right rate. But when I unwrapped the plate, it was like, oh, just like rotten cabbage kind of smell. It was like, oh my God, that was clearly not right.
I had a jar like this size just with some nice big white fluffy spots on it, right? And I'm like, oh, that looks good. And I looked at the date and I said, let's see, 8/2. Why is this thing only got 5 or 6 white spots in 2 months? I opened it and I'm like, whoa, okay, that's gone.
Something's wrong. Yeah, my tent, sometimes my shoebox is in the tent. I'll do like, sometimes I do second and third flushes, and I got to remember to look at the dates because if something's sitting there and it's like more than a month and a half old and it's not doing anything, get it out. Yeah.
I mean, all my tubs, like I got these like shoe boxes, and they're all, this one here is 7 days old, and it's it's beautiful inside. It's nice and mycelial, no smell, smells perfect and everything, getting ready to pin. I got all kinds of, my shoe box, all those are doing good, but my bags, they're getting bacterial. So there's something wrong with them. I don't know what. I'll figure it out. But, so let's see what we got here for people. We got Justin. I recently had some 0.5 micron. Recently had some 0.5 micron filter bags that I put a strip of micropore tape over, and they seem to be working. Cool. Yep. Yeah. Sometimes the 0.5 is too much air to colonize or whatever, I guess.
Yeah, the surface dries out. That's like the opposite effect, the opposite problem. Like the surface dries out, and then it doesn't want to colonize it for top couple inches.
Yep.
And it's like, yeah, you just got to get it like just right, and your ambient conditions too. Like depending on where you're at, are gonna really affect it.
Yeah, I'm in New England, so the ambient temperature here is usually like 60% humidity. Out in Colorado, it's probably like 0. In the desert and all that area, not in the mountains. But
I remember in Michigan when I first started growing, man, I started growing in July, and then everything was going well until like October. And then everything in October just shit the bed. It was like whatever changed.
Wow.
And it just like completely, and I kind of was, I didn't really have all this available information or, like mentors or whatever online. And I just had no idea what I was doing. And I was just like, why did it stop working?
Yeah. Well, it's like me. I mean, everything I've learned from the internet, and I I still look for more videos to watch because I want to get that
Oh,
1% that I missed somewhere else that I
yeah,
might find.
yeah.
I guess what I'm looking for is the magic bullet or whatever. That I'm gonna be the best. I can grow them in 10 days and I'll have everything. No, I don't know why I want that, but I'm always looking for that next thing that do something better. I don't know. Maybe it's just me. I think a lot of people try that as well. Just watch everything they can to find a secret.
Yeah, the more gourmet guys, even the like the large growers, they'll occasionally have like a little tip in their
Yeah.
videos. Especially like the bag people, they do a lot of like a lot of the gourmet people are bag
Oh yeah.
people. So they
Like
have
home
like
food.
little tips and tricks that we might not know about.
Yep.
Also the tissue culture people, like the plant tissue
Yeah.
culture people, like
Yep.
you can occasionally pick up something from them. It's
Yeah, I was looking at
yeah.
tissue culture just to try to get my marijuana plants and do some tissue
Mm.
cloning type thing, whatever. And wow, I couldn't believe some of the similarities, but there's so much more you got to get, like for the
Oh, yeah.
growth and all that stuff, the grow roots versus to grow.
Mm.
Yeah, I'm not learning that one yet. I'm still gonna figure out mushrooms for another year. But yeah, there's a lot of stuff similar with the agar work and the gel and gum and all that stuff. But yeah,
For sure. I think it's similar things though, like, the plant tissue culture probably don't know what like LME is.
yeah, yeah.
Like,
They got other kind of
but
chemicals to worry about.
yeah, they know what like PM, what is that shit they call MSK media or whatever, like that's their like LME.
Yeah.
Like, but yeah, it's basically the same idea. I thought about that also. I thought about maybe, yeah, opening up like a tissue culture lab here where maybe some of the plant people could use,
Oh, yeah.
some of the same equipment and I don't know, charging people, 40, $50 an hour to use the equipment or something like that. But
Flowers are a big thing out in Asia, isn't it? Like flowers aren't they like a huge
oh
cultivar?
yeah,
Yeah,
orchids and
yeah,
the like monstera and the calocasia, I think,
yeah,
alocasia, all of these, the things that you see in your house, like or in the hotel lobby, that shit's all like grown over here in tissue culture. And they
yeah.
do it in like old whiskey bottles and things like that. It's a little more low tech than
Yeah, but
our
the
stuff,
beauty is
but it works for
undeniable. Yeah,
mm,
that's amazing. I've seen some of the videos with the bottles for even mushroom bottles
yeah.
and stuff. It's just
Oh
amazing what
yeah.
with over there.
Y Yeah, the old whiskey bottles, they'll even take, like, old, like, I guess they'd be pints bottles, like a hip flask, and turn them sideways and use them for, like, agar plates.
Yeah, and they must have to reach in and grab a
Th
little
they
scoop.
do. They have special, like, hooks, so it's
Yeah,
basically like a thing with a hook at the end, and they just reach in there and kinda cut sideways instead
yeah.
of from the top.
That'd be a pain in the ass. I can barely work a scalpel on a plate.
I
Spinning it.
know. The smaller ones, the pint bottles, you can still kinda work with those, but I don't drink, I don't drink that much whiskey anymore, so
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
I used
Uh,
to have lots and lots of whiskey bottles
yeah.
laying around, but now I'd have to go track them down.
Oh man, if
So
I
my
used I used to run a bar back from like 2000 to 2012. 12 table pool room and bar. I used to own it with my family, and we had so many bottles. Oh, if I had the bottles, I would be growing out of bottles now. I'd had thousands of bottles, just different size, shapes, everything. Couldn't only imagine. But let's see what we got here. Let's see, Nerdy had a thing here. Let's see. More people have entwined bacteria than they realize. Yeah, I'm noticing that with a lot of stuff. Some genetic plates I have plates that just go bad just every time. I turn them, everything's going great, and then I have
mm,
one plate variety or strain that just every time it goes bad. And then I, got to do some cleaning, which, like I said, yeah,
for real. Yeah,
yeah,
or when you put it on new media, that's what I've noticed when I switched to the gel and gum and I've been going back and forth using different carbohydrate sources. Sometimes usually it goes better. You're like either you notice something is wrong and maybe it'll grow a little bit better and it's like, "Oh, wow." And then you subculture that edge again and it's like, "Oh, that's what it's supposed to look like."
yeah, exactly.
Like I've got like probably 20 cultures sitting out there in front of my FFU. Like I'm gonna subculture these again because they just don't look quite right.
Yep, that's what I'm at right now. I'm doing a different, different. I was trying different media recipes and stuff, and I got so far away from my base media recipe that I started screwing things
Mm,
up. So I'm
mm,
bringing everything back to simple. Just LME, 2%,
yeah.
3%, and everything. 1% of my liquid culture. Just bringing it right back to basics. Just got to get everything growing right before I can start messing around with it.
Mm. Yeah, and you can always just change your concentration, instead of like 2%, run 1% or half percent or whatever.
Yep, It's
You don't have to completely change the carbohydrate source. I've noticed that seems to really it's just fun too, it gets boring when you're pouring like, 100 plates a week. You're just like, let me try something a little bit different. And then you're like, oh, okay, maybe not so different.
yeah.
Let me go
I'm also
back.
doing. I'm only pouring 20 plates at a time now because I don't use enough, but I like pouring. So I don't know. I was pouring 100 plates every week or so, and I'm like, you know what? Why don't I pour 20 every few days? Then if I have a bad batch, I don't lose 100. I lose 20.
Yeah.
That's one thing I noticed about doing on a smaller scale. I was trying to do so much, and I don't need to. I can do 20 at a time. Just do it every few days. It's a lot easier.
Mm,
Let's see. We got a question from
yeah.
Happy here.
Yeah.
Let's see what he's
I
saying.
thought about doing that too. Because last time I lost a batch of 120 plates because I used an old some
Rice
rice
flour.
flour that I had and
I saw that video.
whole
Wow.
100 fucking plates. It's like so painful.
And I also bought 2 cases from Amazon of plates, and they were dirty. I lost both 2 boxes, and they would go bad 10 days after wrapping them. They'd be fine, and all of a sudden they'd all go bad. Like, what the hell happened? And it's coming up through the bottom of the agar and everything, so you knew it was dirty plates. It was just weird.
Ah,
Yep.
that's what I thought was wrong with that batch, and then I realized what I had changed. You gotta go back and think, like, what variable did I change this time? And then I remembered, oh, I used that old brown rice flour. That was
Yeah,
the variable, because I was using a new box of plates too, and I thought, "Oh, maybe the whole box is bad. They didn't get sterilized or whatever." And then I realized, "Oh, no, 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 no. I changed 2 variables."
yep. New box and new rice.
Yeah, you gotta change one variable at a
Yeah,
time, but,
but yeah,
you
keep it
know
simple, makes it easier. Let's see. Happy's asking a question here. Let's see. He's trying to. I've been trying to do hydrated lime pasteurized straw with gourmets, and it seems to keep getting contam. I have no idea about pasteurizing with lime. Happy. How about you, Ed? Do you know anything about lime?
I do. It doesn't work well.
There you go.
There's a lot of the old, there's a British guy, I think he's got a lot of YouTube videos about it. Can't remember his name, but he's got quite a few videos of, growing oyster mushrooms, and yeah, it doesn't really work well, because that's another thing. If you get really dirty straw or old straw that's been sitting around in a barn for whatever, or at this feed store or whatever, like the straw, if it's dirty, because then you're dealing with like maybe the straw, maybe they harvested the grass or however the fuck they make straw. Maybe they like harvested and it sat around wet. And so I don't know what you call it, endogenous, like the endemic, like spore load, it can be so high that you'll never, probably even if you sterilized it, it'd still be a problem. The hydrated lime also, it's basically what it is basically take what they sometimes call ag lime. It's calcium hydroxide or hydrated lime, and you're basically relying on the high pH to kill stuff. But if you have a really, really high spore load, it's probably not going to work, especially if you're doing like the cold lime pasteurization. I don't think it works. And every time I see videos of people doing it, they're like, "Yeah, this works," but yeah, like again, if your straw is not really good quality straw, it's going to be an uphill battle. Some people add peroxide. There's another guy, an older guy, Rush Wayne. He's got a whole book, a little like kind of, I think it's free or it's somewhere out there on the internet. He uses hydrogen peroxide. And there's one of the videos also where another guy, he has like this sort of secret. What he does is basically he mixes hydrogen peroxide and acetic acid. So he makes peroxyacetic acid, but he doesn't really mention it in the video. But because I know about that, there's like a little secret sauce that he adds at one step in the video, and he doesn't really mention it. So there's like different levels of cold pasteurization. You can use hydrogen peroxide, you can use the cold lime, or you can use the peroxyacetic acid. There's probably other ways to do it. I'm sure you could probably use bleach or hypochlorous acid or some fancy shit too. But man, cold pasteurization is not. It's the reason why like no commercial grower uses cold pasteurization. It's just unreliable. So
Cool.
yeah, I do
Sorry,
know a
my
little bit about
computer
it.
just started.
Oh no, that's good, dude. You got to stop me. Yeah, I can go on for hours and hours and
No, you're
hours.
good. I know you know
If
you're
you
good.
don't,
I heard all of a sudden my computer started going, and I was looking. I didn't know if we got thrown off, but okay, we're still on. That's
oh,
good.
it's glitch on my end. Your video is kind of really like glitching, I guess you'd say.
Yeah, I
Like
think that's what happened. I think it's okay now. I'm not sure.
The voice is okay. It's the video is kind of like stop
Yeah, that was.
animation, kind of like gick.
How's that? Is that better?
Nah, it's still
No,
doing it. But
not
let
much
me
I can do
check
about
them.
it. I don't know
Let me see
what's
on
going
my
on.
phone if we're both. It could be my internet connection too.
Yeah, because I see my TV screen. I'm not glitching on there because I
Yeah,
got a
it should.
secondary feed going. So I think it might just be because we're going all the way to Thailand.
Yeah, it could be just me. I noticed the other day I tried doing a live with my phone and sometimes it works, but man, it was horrible. The sound was fucking horrible. I almost deleted the video because it was like painful to listen to.
That happens. I mean, that we're dealing with technology that we can't control. So it's
Mm.
not like we're doing something like building a house or something. You can't control what's happening in the wires. But
Oh yeah, on my phone you look fine. Yeah, it's just my
yeah,
it's just on the computer.
I got it on a TV screen on a separate, and I can see there's nothing
Mm.
glitchy. That's why I knew that I wasn't gone. So whatever. Let's see.
It's
Hello, Mike. What's going on, Mike? Nice to see you. Sorry, just getting some pleasantries out of the way. JC Cat, Jessica, thank you for stopping by. And let's see, what do we got? Any questions? Good to know. Looks okay. Cool. Thank you for letting us know. Okay, so any questions, guys? Feel free to post them up for myself or Ed. I'm sure he'd be happy to answer. He loves talking about this stuff too. Uh,
I do.
but
It's the only
sorry.
thing I have in life, Alan. It's like the only thing, and
Hey,
my
it's fun.
mushrooms are my life.
Why not enjoy it? How's that class you got going? Is that going good for you, or did you get that started?
I think so. I'm waiting for one guy to join. I got 3 people, and I'm waiting for the 4th guy. I should have checked my email before I did this.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it's gonna go this week. Just got to figure out the time and day. It's gonna
Great.
be fun. It's gonna be
I
really,
hope you
really
guys have a
fun.
great time. You're gonna learn a lot.
Oh yeah, I'm really fascinated to get like people's because I don't know what level they're at. I need to send out sort of a preliminary like questionnaire, like what kind of level they're at. But I get a lot of new ideas, and also I learn a lot from talking to people who are just maybe starting this journey, and I end up with like more questions and more ideas than I probably teach to them. Or it's like a give and take. It's awesome. I love it.
Yeah. No. I hope you have a great time. I can't wait to see hear from some of the people and see how the results go. But
Uh, I I'm really excited to get some people started in the whole Daimon and Mon thing too.
yeah,
It's
it's gonna be. I know myself. I'm slowly getting a little collection of monos together, but my microscope, I got 2 now. I got one for free, but it had to be completely cleaned up. The optics are good, but it didn't have a light, so I actually added a new light to it, so that's okay. So I'm going to be working with got the binoculars instead of the single monocular, so that's going to be nice to have the camera on one and be able to look in the other. So
cool.
yeah.
So you make some videos and stuff.
Yeah, hopefully. I'm still getting used to working on a PC for computer. Because I'm used to iPads and iPhones for the past 10 years. I haven't been really into the internet or anything until the past year. So I'm just getting used to using all this old equipment, I guess, basically is what I would call it. I got a PC from like 2005 and it works great, but it's just, I don't know Windows anymore. I don't even understand half the shit. Yeah, so I'm learning. It's taking me a little while, but I'm getting it. Let's see. We got
They've made it way easier. At least it's easier now. I mean, it takes there's a learning curve, but it's like way, way, way easier. Like this kind of stuff when I first wanted to do like live streams, people were like, you got to use OBS or whatever that shit is. Like,
I don't even know what that is.
I'm like, I don't know. I don't want to learn a whole new like field. People are like, oh, so it's really easy. And it's like, really? StreamYard is a lot easier.
Absolutely. I know I got a lot of us in the chat, we're friends from a different group, T Crew, that we watch at 9 o'clock in the morning on weekdays in this area. And there's a guy that does his podcast, and he wants to start bringing pictures of other stuff on. And I was trying to tell him, use StreamYard, and it's a lot easier. It is. It's simple. Basically, it does everything for you through YouTube. So it's great. Let's see, Nerdy.
Oh yeah.
Here. Let's see. What are you asking, Nerdy? Been trying to clone some mushrooms I found in the wild. Cool. I tried soaking them in H2O2. to clean it up, but it keeps contaminating. Any alternatives? Haven't been into wild mushrooms at all, so I'm sure Ed knows a little bit about wild foraging.
I do. I know. Yes, a lot. If you want to clone them, so yeah, the obvious thing is to use things like 10% ethanol, or maybe so it's like the tissue culture people when they're cloning houseplants. They use basically a combination of things like alcohol and bleach and hydrogen peroxide, and they do different steps where they put it in here for a certain time and then they rinse it and then they put it in, maybe they go from like alcohol to bleach and normal water and then back to alcohol, and they do this like depending on how dirty the tissue sample is, which is basically a wild mushroom is going to be. You should treat it like a tissue sample. Like say you found a wild orchid and you wanted to clone it, like you would treat it the same way. So you might want to watch some of those videos. Basically different rinses and baths. It's almost like, like kind of plating metal or something. It's like put it in here for 5 minutes and then put it in here for 3 minutes. And then, shit like that, like plating, electroplating, those like that kind of idea. But you're using bleach and peroxide and water and alcohol and things like that. The other thing, if you don't want to clone, so also take the inner tissue. So it depends what kind of what kind of mushroom you're trying to clone. If it's a stipitate, like a cap and stem mushroom, you're gonna want to get from inside the stem or the inside of the cap. So that's one thing. The other thing is one of the first videos I posted was where you take a piece of gill tissue and you drop spores onto an agar plate. So what that does is you put a small piece of gill tissue on the lid with some Vaseline or something to get it stick to the lid, and you put it on your agar plate and put it sideways so that the spores will drop down onto the agar without the actual piece of tissue ever touching the agar. So that was, believe it or not, how I used to get, we call them SBIs, single basidiospore isolates. That was the original way I got monos like 20 years ago, because we were often dealing with wild collected stuff and we only would have like one mushroom sometimes. So it was a way to take an excruciatingly small piece of gill tissue because you didn't want to destroy the specimen. If you couldn't get a spore print, which is also problematic because we were oftentimes moving every day. So if you're trying to make a spore print overnight in like a hotel room and you've got to leave at like 5 o'clock the next morning, that can be problematic. So you can set up these plates and there's various ways. Nerd Nature, if I can go into way more detail, but maybe that's not appropriate here. But it depends on what you can send me a personal message and I can talk about it more. But there's that video, but that's not gonna, oh shit, that's not going to be cloning though. That's going to be spores, right? So if you have no choice, if you can't get a spore to drop, and I don't know where the hell that went under my bed. If you can't get a clone and you can't get spores to drop and you can't, there's a bunch of steps to ask. Like if you can't get stipe tissue inside, and then if you can't get spores, and if you can't do this, there's like other ways to do it. So yeah, I could go on for probably about 2 hours about that. So I would need to know what type of mushroom, how old is it, and then sometimes, to be honest, if it's just too old and you can't get spores, you can try rehydrating the tissue. There's a lot of different ways to go about it.
Yeah. Yeah, I know I've had a little bit of luck with rehydrating some dry stuff just for fun, but I wouldn't want to make it a, my life and death situation.
No.
I just throw some tissue dried up onto a plate and it happened to spore perfect or, colonize perfectly. I was like, okay, somebody did their job. It was nice and clean.
Yeah. And then there's also times you just need to give up and move on.
Yeah, absolutely. I have so many things that I had spores sent to me for free or, here, try this, try that. And they just came out bacterial just because a lot of things look like markers on the tips. And I didn't know when I first started, so I thought it was great to have dark spores swabs.
That's funny. I just had a customer send me an email complaining about the tips not being black enough.
Well, that tat you sent me a little while ago, you sent me a couple of tat and a blue peyote. The tat was clear. There was nothing on the tip. Let me rephrase that. There was stuff on the tip. It was clear. I couldn't see anything on the tip.
Right.
And I trusted it, and I just took it and I swabbed it. In the first plate, I think I lost the fluff in the first part of the plate because nothing had anything. No bacteria, no nothing on the plate. And I'm like, okay, maybe it was. Then I'd swab the whole plate with the whole swab, just, not a drag, just a regular streak. Came out perfect. I got plenty of spores. So yeah,
Mm.
I agree. You don't
Yeah,
want them
it
to get
doesn't make sense until if you've never looked at translucent spores under the microscope, it doesn't occur to you that they won't show up on the tip. They're clear. But if you don't
Yeah,
quite understand the life cycle of a mushroom, that like an albino has clear spores, like so you won't see them. But yeah, just one of those
yeah.
little things. It doesn't make sense until you actually think
It takes
about
a
it.
while
You're
to figure
like,
it out.
yeah,
When you swab in an albino that's got like tight gills, like when they're really close together, I don't know if you know what I mean. Do you still try to
yeah.
separate them, or do you just gently rub the surface?
No,
I mean, because
they
sometimes when you
have.
separate them, you get that blue liquid all over.
Yeah, I don't. I'll often run them. Even I'll take the swab and run it. So, like, say there's your gills. I'll take the swab and run it like this way and twist it so you're just getting the
Yep.
edge of the gills, and that
Okay.
works
Yeah, that
fine.
makes sense.
Yeah, you
Okay,
don't
because
need
I've
to
been
get
trying to
in there
separate the
and
root.
do that.
Oh, okay. Good. Okay, that gives
No,
me an extra,
there's
extra weapon in
plenty
my
of
arsenal.
spores on that. So if you ever made like a cross section of a gill, which
Yeah,
you probably there's spores all along the gill
that makes
tissue,
sense. Okay.
the sides and the very very end.
Oh,
They're
okay. Because I thought
everywhere.
they were down deep in the groove all the time until they
No, no,
drop.
no.
Okay.
No,
Good.
no,
Good.
no. No, they're all at the they're all over they're all over the end and the edges and everything.
Okay, so you
The
don't have to
the
even get
hyméneum.
in between. Okay, that's actually very helpful because I've been looking at these albinos I want to get spores from, and if I can't get, I'm getting toothpicks. I'm trying to pick in there, and I'm ending up with gill tissue.
No,
And
no,
that's
no. No,
okay.
you don't
Cool.
need to.
That's actually great to know.
No, I even if you just like so if the gills are there, I'll try to get the swab and just run it on the very edge there, and you don't need to get in there.
Oh, okay, good. Because some of them, they're just the gills are so small you can't get in there. I mean, you'll end up breaking them up, and then you're worse.
Yeah, well, it's kind of funny. I just realized that surface, the gill bearing surface, is actually called the hyméneum. So you don't want to break the hyméneum.
Yeah, that's I see people that are swabbing
The
fruits, and they're
hymen,
nice and beautiful. Then they have
trying to
these
make a
black
sick joke.
patches. Like, yeah.
Don't break the hymen.
Don't break the hymen. I love it. Okay, so I'm
There's
gonna get a T-shirt
consequences for
with a swab on some gills of a mushroom that says "Don't break the hymen." That's my new T-shirt.
this is good. Oh, you gotta pay extra if you're getting.
Get the right looking mushroom in that picture too.
Get a dowry if you're gonna
Yeah.
have to pay a dowry if you're expecting to break the hymen. All right, this is a family show. I forgot Alan. This is a
No,
family show.
no, we're not a family show. We're just 18 and over. Let's see. Oh yeah, let's see. I said Mike here. Thank you for Mike. You're welcome. I made those just for you and for Married Michael. You two both got those chocolate bars. I made those special just for you two. Then they had mushrooms from. I'm sorry, and they had fruit from um, Kim and Mike. Kim and Mike sent me some stuff they could put in those. So, yep, that was well. Okay, let's see. We have no more questions, so I guess we can just talk about whatever. And when we get more, we'll put them up there. I was testing that thing. I sent you a message about the plating swabs, not plating, making slides with swabs. And
Oh
yeah,
yeah.
that's so much easier just to put a little freaking fluff of the stuff than trying to get the spores to fall off the swab. I was trying to get them on the plate or in the water and then cover slip it. But if you actually leave the fluff of the swab on the slide, that works just the same.
Oh yeah, yeah, for sure. Yeah, or what I do is I put a drop of water first and then I
Yep.
try to it helps to like sort of stick. It's like that hydrophilic,
Yeah.
whatever it kind of like wets the swab.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
that's it.
don't
I
wanna
put a slide with a piece of water, drop of water, and then I take a little piece of fluff of the swab and just lay it
mm,
in the water and then put a cover slip. But I was trying to just
yeah,
dip the
yeah.
swab in the water and get the spores to come off the swab, which they don't want to do.
Yeah, and you don't wanna have your if it's only one swab, if you paid for them, you don't wanna wet the swab.
Yeah.
You definitely don't wanna, like, put a wet swab back in a sleeve or something. That's gonna be bad. It's funny, that's where I originally started doing the grab and drag because I had here, in Thailand, man, it was really, really hard for me to get genetics. And so me and my friend would order genetics and, like, she'd get one swab and I'd get one, and that was it. Like, that was the swab. Like, I had one swab to deal with, and I'm like, "You know what, man? I'm trying different media, and if, like, this batch gets contaminated because of my plates or whatever, I wanted to use, like, every single thread of that swab." and you know, it was like contaminated. Sometimes swabs are contaminated. That was kind of also, it was like, well, what if part of the swab is contaminated? So it was like the old school way, what they do in microbiology, to basically do like plate counts or just clean up swabs, or to separate, like if you say swab the inside of your mouth and you wanted to see what different bacteria were growing, you need to swab a plate, but you need to spread them out, because otherwise the colonies of bacteria will just be on top of each
Yeah.
other. And so you can't separate like, oh, there's 5 different kinds of bacteria. Like it all just looks like one bacteria, because so I was like, okay, I can take this and conserve. And it was also like, if this doesn't work, I want to like try another way. So I wasn't really thinking about the mono carry-on thing was basically like an afterthought. And then I was like, wait a minute, like that looks like that doesn't look, it's not throwing rhizo growth. I'm like, wait a minute. Like, I think these are monos I've got. And then it was like really like an afterthought. It was like, oh, this could be
Cool.
helpful.
Yeah, there we go.
Like,
Oh, I
it's
just
like
took
I
a swab
did.
and went across the plate. Now I got 10 monos. Great.
Oh, yeah, exactly. It's so dead easy too. Somebody just 2 people today, they were like, man, that has like changed my world. Because then you can do diamonds, right? If
Yeah.
you do like, if you get one mono, you can do diamonds. I've got like a bunch of stuff piled up on my bed. It's all diamonds. It's fruit from diamonds. And
Yeah.
it's like, now I'm going to do like T0 multi-spore plates from those. And the F1, it doesn't look like anything. Like I crossed a Yeti and an ape with the Thai Lipa Yai, which is a brown one. I did
Yeah.
a diamond with those, and the fruit was white.
Huh.
But somebody
Yeah.
mentioned this idea that albinism, I don't think is recessive, or it's a multi-allelic, like multi-locus, like kind of trait. And so I know when I take those white fruit from the F1, I know something brown is probably going to pop out in the F2. And that could be maybe just a reversion, but it could be like something really, really like, it's so exciting. I get
Oh,
so
yeah.
excited about this shit. Like any way you do it, it's like I just get really excited. Or even fuck it, if it's a Yeti, whatever, I got more Yeti fruit.
Yeah. Well, I
It's
know that's
not
what I
like
do
a big
when I do my
loss. Like,
monos. If I get a mono, I got a mono of a luminous Lucy, and what I did is I made like 10 little 35 millimeter plates of it. So I have a whole bunch of them, and they've been confirmed on the microscope. But I got check them a couple of times. But so I got like 10 of them, and I mix one in with every other mono, every other dicarion. I do like a dicarion run, and then I take a little piece of both that and the mono, and I make 2 jars so I can see them grow side by side. Eventually I'm gonna end up having so many freaking jars. But
yeah,
yeah,
it multiplies fast,
oh
dude.
yeah,
So,
yeah,
so do you
2
grow the mono
jars.
separate?
I do. No, I haven't tried. What do you mean? I
So
don't
are
grow
you
mono.
you mix that? Do you mix the dicaryon with the mono? Like, are
Oh,
you? So
well, no.
so
Like
I do it in the
I
bag in
got,
the same.
like this here is Dark Star, so I have this one, and then right next to it I have Dark Star crossed with Luminous Lucy. So then I'll run these 2 in separate bags. I'll run. So then I'll know what the original Dicaryon looks like, and hopefully the Daimon looks different.
Oh, because you're doing it the first time. But you put the mono in with the dicaryon in the same jar?
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
oh, okay. So you got
Just
one jar that
Daimon in
has
a
the
jar.
dot.
Well, like a bag. I do bags too, but like I put a Daimon in a bag like this. I'll put both, one of each, the Daimon and the mono, and then I'll have a separate bag with just the Dicaryon, just so when I grow them in separate,
Okay.
I have the original Dicaryon fruit that I can look at and say that's pretty. Then I have the new combination of the 3 that could possibly become Dicaryons. You could have the original, or
Okay.
so if it's not a mono or something doesn't work, it doesn't look different.
Oh, okay. Okay, so you're basically doing 2 similar runs, but you're throwing a
Yeah,
mono in the one.
yeah, just
Oh,
for fun,
okay.
just so I have both. And then if it makes a nice, pretty fruit, I'll take that and go to the F2 or whatever next
Oh,
generation.
no. I'm asking because
Yeah.
this kind of conversation requires very
Oh yeah.
precise and accurate communication. I've had problems with that because people have misinterpreted what I
Oh,
said or
okay.
didn't understand what I said. Like a mono won't fruit,
No.
right?
Yeah.
Right. So if you just have a mono separate and you try to fruit that,
Oh yeah. No. I don't put a mono in a jar. I put a mono with a Daimon.
right.
In a jar.
Okay.
Like you
Okay.
do a Daimon in a bag, I do that in a jar.
Okay.
And then I take the original Dicaryon that I mix that mono with, and I do it in a separate jar
Right.
just to fruit it, just so I know what it looks like. Because I get a lot of things I don't know what they look like,
Right.
so I grow them out first, and sometimes I just do them both at the same
Mhm.
time. the Diamond and the original, just so I can see the original and then see the combination after, because sometimes I have no clue what these names are going to look like.
Yeah, I
You know,
totally
someone
yeah,
says here, yeah,
I
I
started
think
doing that too.
because like I got Luminous Lucy and I have no idea what that fruit should look like. I believe
Mm,
it's a regular brown cap, but I don't know. So unless I can find a place to see the original, I have to grow it out before I do any crossing.
mm.
Before I can see what it looks like. That's all. No big deal. Just stuff I play with. I'm not
Yeah,
selling
that's
any of
good.
it either, so it's not like I'm, trying to, I'm just doing it for fun. So. Correct, nerdy. Yes, one drive for the die, one drive for the bowler. That's a better way of putting it. Yeah, that's kind of what it is. The die is my control. I have a controlled diamond, so I know what it looks like, and then I have the Bueller sack prep.
Mm.
Thank you. Okay. Anyway, show. Let's see.
You guys have to say Buller, not Bueller.
Bueller. I don't know.
No, not no.
Bueller.
No. No, it's not as Buller. I'm sorry, people. I heard a lot of people saying leucistic again the other day. It's not leucistic, it's leucistic.
Leucistic.
Okay, so like how do people say leukemia?
Leukemia.
Right. Do you ever hear anybody say leucemia? No.
Leukemia.
It's leukemia with a hard K. It's
Cool.
leucistic. A C and a K in like when we convert it to English, sometimes that Latin gets written as a C or a K, or Greek. Maybe it's Greek. It's a hard K, like leukocytes, like white blood cells, like leucism. It's not leucism. And even on the internet, if you don't go to like the third like way to pronounce it, they'll say leucistic. It's not it's leucistic. It's like leukemia, right?
I don't think I've actually ever heard anybody say the word leucistic on vocally yet. I think I've always read it, so that's the first time I've actually thought of somebody saying leucistic. I've always said leucistic, so I don't.
Oh, I heard I hear people say it a lot because now I like hear it every time they start talking about leucistics. I'm like, it's not like agar, whatever. Like you pronounce agar anyway, agar, whatever. But leucistic there's a right way to say leucistic.
Yeah, I don't know. I've never actually heard anybody say it until you just did. I've always just in my head it's been leucistic with a K. Leucistic. I never.
It is. That's correct. In your head, it is correct.
Yeah, like I've never actually. You're the first person I've actually talked to the most about different terms in mushroom mycology. So I don't. Most of the stuff's always been in typing, so I've never actually heard a lot of it besides in videos. But I don't. In video, it's video. I don't really hear it that often. Thank you.
Yeah, I heard. Well, yesterday, I'm just mentioning it because I heard it yesterday. I heard a guy say it about 50 times, and I was like, "Oh my god!" Because he's a well-known person. And I was like, God, I really wish he wouldn't keep saying that. Like it was like nails on a chalkboard, you know, like an old blackboard. It was like, oh my God, can he stop saying it?
Well, I must be taking after you because I was watching videos last night and the guy flame serialized a freaking. Okay, now I'm watching somebody working in a still air box, right? And he's inoculating these pod things, right? And he's taking the syringe. He's in the still air box. Flame serializes this or opens the syringe, takes the cap off so that the end of the syringe is open to the air. And he's shaking it in the still air box like a freaking madman. I'm like, what the? I'm yelling at the TV, stop it! And then he takes the needle and sterilizes it and then rubs it down with alcohol and puts it on the freaking barrel. And I'm like, what are you doing? And he's got 10,000 followers. I'm like, what is wrong with you? Anyways, yeah, I'm taking.
Yeah, it's painful.
It is.
It's painful. There's actually I saw a video on this too. They're sorry, I'm still thinking about. They're called acorns. When people, when like Jimi Hendrix says, "Excuse me while I kiss this guy," like it's like, "Excuse me while I kiss the sky," right?
Yeah, not this guy.
Yeah, they're called acorns. It's when people this video was about like acorns. Like some people apparently write acorn like egg corn.
Oh, geez.
Like in the way they pronounce it, especially if you start listening to British people, the way they pronounce things to an American ear could be quite confusing. Or Australian people like caw, or like the way Australian people say caw.
Yeah, it's like the Harvard accent.
Instead of car, they say caw. Like water. Like sometimes down south, people say like water.
Yeah, they have that
Like
draw.
it's got an R in it, right? Like Ward.
Water. Gotta get some water.
Yeah, I heard a
Yeah, we
guy
have
the
that Boston accent. The Pac kind of have it. Yeah, I don't have it. I don't believe, but people have said it's similar in the Boston area. So that's
yeah.
in this area.
But I know that the Ferris Bueller thing, people, because Ferris Bueller's Day Off is an old movie, but the Buller
Buller,
phenomenon is not named after Ferris Bueller. It's Buller, no
come on,
E in there.
Buller.
It's not Ferris Bueller. No, Ferris Bueller. It's one of my favorite
Yeah,
movies. It's
yeah,
not the Bueller
no,
phenomenon.
no,
It's
it's
nothing
Buller.
to do with Ferris Bueller.
I might have said it both ways in the past. I don't pay that much attention. When I'm in my lab by myself. I'm not talking about my to other people. I'll be like, okay, we'll do a Buller over here, a Bueller over there.
Well, dude, I'm not, don't get
Oh,
me wrong, man. I'm not ragging on you. I'm
I know
just
you're not.
saying that the more people hear the incorrect
Yeah,
pronunciation, the
yeah,
more they say it incorrectly. And this is what we were talking about, miscommunications.
yeah. Okay,
Like we got to do a better job
I
of
agree.
like communicating. There's too much loose terminology. I heard a guy the other day talking about, oh, my strain is drifting.
Oh,
This is
because
not,
drift shit. Yeah, okay, that's not
it's
even.
the wrong
Yeah,
usage.
yep.
Like he was kind of synonymizing drifting and senescence and adaptation, and it was like I heard another very famous
I think
guy
I saw that
also
same video. I saw that
probably
same
it
video.
was
Yeah,
sometimes people use these terms in the very wrong way, and other because of their status in the community, other people start using it the wrong way, and it
yeah,
kind of like it's something we should probably nip in the bud,
yeah.
not nip it in the butt as an eggcorn. Like we shouldn't nip it in the butt. We should nip it in the bud. Like cut the bud off,
Yeah, I agree.
like encourage lateral like growth, like, low stress training, LST.
High
Like
stress.
before it gets to be too stressful and you cut off
Yeah,
half the top of your plant, like don't cut your
yeah.
weed plant like 5 nodes down, like a week before it goes into flower.
I know,
Don't
like
do that.
my plants. When they first start the next node is when you trim a little bit of the tip
Yes,
to do a
yes.
topping. You don't wait till it's
Yeah.
8 feet tall and cut off 7 feet of it.
Yes. Yeah,
That's not like
I've seen people do that
extreme stress
unless you
training. Yeah,
unless you
I
got
saw.
to move locations.
Well, I saw some people that were doing defoliation. I agree, defoliation can be great, but I'm growing my plants outside. They're 12 feet tall, and I haven't added a single chemical to them all year except for some horse manure at the beginning of the year. And people are telling me I gotta, defoliate and everything. I'm like, you know what? They look pretty damn good to me. So we're just gonna let them grow. I'm gonna probably have about 8 pounds of freaking bud on here. So don't tell me about my little 4 plants that are growing 12 feet tall. Defoliate? No thanks. I'm good. Trim up the bottoms. That's it. I don't want to stress them at this point. Oh,
This is funny. Nerd nature, yeah. Nerd nature knows what's up. He says I got to kind of blah blah blah.
Yep.
Yeah, that didn't go well. Yeah, I know because those are the people that pronounce it wrong. Next time you get in that conversation, just ask them to pronounce leukemia.
Yeah.
Like, how do they? And then they'll say, "Oh, but leukemia is spelled with a K and not a C." That doesn't matter. When it converts to English, you can write it as a C or a K, and then you can bring up things like knife and pterodactyl.
Nice.
It's like
I got a
it
lot of
doesn't matter if it's a C or a K. It's still a hard K.
I heard a judge say that in some videos. I think the woman attacked her husband with a knife. I'm like,
Yeah,
oh,
exactly.
knife.
See, that's like we wanna if we're gonna come at people like, educated general population people, we don't want to sound like fucking idiots. Like
I
we're
agree.
at a disadvantage already. So the more properly you can, say words and speak, it gives our whole movement more, more kind of I don't know,
Credibility. Yeah.
credibility. There you go. I
Yeah.
can't see. I live in Thailand, dude. I don't speak English like I haven't
No,
talked
I
to
agree.
anyone today for 24 hours. So my English is kind of bad too.
Dang. I saw that video you walking through a marketplace. I was impressed when I heard you talking Thai. I was like, cool. I thought you just knew a couple words, but you were actually, doing it. I can't speak anything like that. I can hear a little bit of Spanish and French and understand it, but I can't speak it fluently by no means. I'd have to live there for a few months.
Oh, I've lived here 20 years,
Yeah,
so
that's no,
I've
yeah,
had some practice.
well, I know when you're in your videos, you don't act like you talk a lot of Thai. You don't. Um, express like you're talking Thai all the time. You sound perfectly fine in English. So I didn't expect you to be fluent the way you were, and you were very fluent. So it was kind of cool. I was impressed.
Lots of listening.
Yeah.
I suck at language. I tried German, I tried Spanish, but I have to here. It's amazing when you wanna eat and, like, have sex with people, you
You
learn
learn
really
quick.
quick.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Sorry. Yeah, you want
It's
to fuckery, you're gonna be learning quick.
there's the 2 main motivations. They say if you wanna know the 2 main motivation for white guys to learn any foreign language, it's sex and food. It's also correlated to how attractive they find the women who speak that language.
Okay, we got a question from Jimbo12. What up,
I just go
guys?
turn off my pressure cooker real quick.
Okay,
Just
no problem. I'll talk with this guy. Notice my forming rings on plates. One of my GT cultures seems to have formed a few distinct ones, looking cool, but I'm confused. Could be temperature. A lot of times, if you get a change in environment, like say someone nailed you a plate, you're gonna get a plate, and they might have 2 or 3 rings on it by the time it gets to you. If it takes 4 or 5 days, because it started off in his house at 70 degrees or 78 degrees, and then it went in the mail, and it could have got to 60 degrees, could have got to 90 degrees. If it gets too hot, it could have killed it. Then it gets into your possession, and I don't know if you ever had this happen, but when you get plates from the mail, sometimes they'll get a lot of condensation because they didn't have time to adapt to the new temperature. So that can be a temperature thing. It can just be a genetic thing. I've mostly seen it with temperature changes or environmental changes. I did a little test a while back with some just cups that were just seemed to be stalled out, and I opened them in front of the flow and just gave them a little fresh air, and then all of a sudden they started growing again. So it could be a CO2 buildup, could be a temperature thing. That's my opinion. Yeah, Jumbo. That's what I'm thinking. Temperature. Yeah, nerdy. You agree? Yeah. I actually got something here on the show. Like that's no, that's kind of. Oh, nerdy. I found this lion's mane. I was wondering if you wanted it. It's a nice big ropey lion's mane. I'm sending you a box. I was wondering if you wanted that, nerdy. I don't know if you want nerdy lion's mane or whatever, but yeah. So I think it's a temperature thing. Performing rings on a plate.
yeah, I would agree too.
But yeah, and that's what I think on that.
Or maybe light too.
Yeah, light. Yeah, temperature, environment. Yeah.
Yeah, I noticed that some of my cultures in the front room, they get like natural sunlight. They get their rings.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I notice it when I do. I mean, I haven't had it happen a lot. I've had it recently because I moved everything from one area to another area to another area. So I'm noticing I'm getting stages of growth, like different rings. But, yeah. Let's see, let's move forward. Wish no mushrooms would make you sick. Well, there's too many that make it. There's a lot that make you healthy too. So maybe it's a good balance, yin and yang. You gotta have good with bad, I guess. You're welcome, Jimbo. Oops. Let's see what else we got here. Anybody have any more questions on anything, or what's going on? I've only got about another half hour of available time today, so whatever we want to talk about, we got to get out in the open quick. But yeah. So,
I think it's quite funny that another guy told me he actually got kicked off of a bunch of groups for just mentioning my name. You guys don't, if you don't want to get in like, there's some people that like really don't like me. And it's kind of funny. Goes back to the whole
who they like. Don't judge me on who I like or talk to or enjoy getting information from, because honestly, I could give a fuck less if somebody doesn't like me because I like somebody else. It doesn't affect their life. I'm not their boyfriend or girlfriend. I'm not screwing somebody else. It's a freaking video on the internet. Come on. Sorry,
Yeah.
I've had that. I've had people say things like that. Oh, this guy doing this way and this guy's doing that way. You know, I don't get involved, so leave me out of it. I want to talk to everybody. I'll talk to everybody. Yeah. You know what, Ed, I'm sorry, but you have some great information and some good knowledge, and I would love to be able to share that with others. And if it helps them, great. You know, so I don't really have a problem with your personality. I think it's fun. You know.
Oh, I know exactly what you're saying. I guarantee like people will come at you after this and they'll be like, why the fuck did you have Ed on there? He's a dick.
So be it.
Like, and I'm like, did you like, dude, I hear people talking on Discord. This is why I stopped like going on Discord so much.
Yeah.
I went on there the other day and in a conversation that had zero fuck all to do with me, Somebody actually left like a 3-minute message, like talking about what a dick I was and blah, blah. And it's like, this has nothing to do with me. These people they're like children.
Yeah,
And
and
part of
honestly,
that same group went on another podcast and was talking about how we all just should get along and like,
yeah,
and it's like, dude, you just left a three or one of your buddies, like, and on your, like, he just left a 3-minute fucking conversation with himself talking about what a dick I was. I don't even know this fucking dude.
yeah. Well, it's like
And he's
politics. If you agree with my side, we're going to be. I want peace and happiness as long as you agree with me. That's basically how it is.
yeah,
Peace and happiness, I
exactly.
love it. But if you don't agree with me, I hate you and I want to
Crazy.
kill you. What the fuck? No, honestly, I don't give a fuck about haters. If they hate me, they hate me. I have not enough time in my life for that, And honestly, let them sit there and do a live stream and try to figure all this crap out and see if they're not going to get a little confused by comments that you don't understand. Because honestly, yeah, I've heard it when things have been typed one way and you misinterpret them, or I've misinterpreted them. It happens. It's we're reading a screen trying to talk to everybody and answer questions and help people, and they come at you with like, hey, by the way, I did this tech, something that we've never heard of or you've never heard of. I've done the doghouse door tech. Is it okay if I use this? And you'll be like, I have no idea what you're talking about. And then they'll get mad at you. What the fuck? Yeah, I'm sorry. But no, I can care less when people come at me after this. I'm not going at them. So yeah, exactly, Justin. Fuck them. It's their loss.
It's frustrating because I think some of those people, they're trying to portray themselves as a certain type of person that they are not.
Yeah.
They're
Yep.
they're trying to pull the wool over people's eyes and like, I'm like such a great person. I'm here to help the community
Yeah.
and da da da. And they're not. You got
No.
to see past it, but it's like I don't know the way they go about it. It's like they're better at advertising and they're better at marketing and branding themselves. And so instead of actually, when you really get to know a lot of these people, really they're trying to sell you something.
Yeah.
It's like
Yes, I agree.
it's or kind of like stroke their own ego or whatever. Like it's
Yeah, I know exactly what you're saying, and I follow the controversies going on. I see them all. I just don't bring them up because it's not worth it. I mean, there's so much misinformation out there that I just don't want to even listen to it.
Mm. I just wish people would stop like perpetuating these things that are like a
If you're
year or two
experimenting,
old.
or like if you're
It's
experimenting
like
with something new, experiment with it, learn it, maybe share what you're experimenting, but don't say this is a fact. This is the way it
yeah.
works. This is, hey guys, this is my new experiment. I'm attempting to do this, and I've had great success with my first 5 tests on this new concept. Maybe it would work for you. Maybe it's a fluke. That's the way things should be. Brought up. Not, hi, this is not a theory. This is a fact. This is done.
Mm.
It's a law. The law of mushrooms. But yeah, no, I don't care.
I think people they wanna kinda stake their claim on
Yeah,
something, which I understand. It's like it's like even, with papers and books and things like that, or even like YouTube videos, you wanna be the first one out there to say like, "Look, this is my thing," even though it maybe isn't fully tested or you haven't really
it's all
done
been
all
done
the
before, anyways. It's all been done
Yeah,
before.
I know that's the other thing cracks me up.
Yeah,
People will bring up stuff that was done 30 or 40 years ago and like claim that it was theirs.
yep.
Like even the grab and drag, like I just told you, that is not I just like put
You said that
together
many
some
times.
random things and like people, it's hard because somebody else will be like, Ed's grab and drag, and then somebody's like, that's not Ed's fucking. It's
Yeah,
like I never said it was, man. I
this
just
is how I do
explained.
it. Yeah,
It's like,
I call it Ed's grab and drag too. Or actually, I actually use a different way of marking my plates than I grab and drag now. I do my D1 and D2, drag 1, drag 2. That's just the easiest way for me to write it out. So I know that if I take a fluff and I drag it through one plate and then I drag it through a second plate, I just do D1, D2.
oh,
So
oh
I
yeah, that's
know
a good
which
idea.
part of the swab went into which plate. So if it says D1, that means it's got the most spores. D2 has, gets less and less. And then it's easier for me to understand. But that's just something I use. That's not something I would say to other people. This is the way to do it. That's just one of my things that I do. If people want to copy it, so be it. But
Yeah, that's a good idea. I never thought. I was wondering about that. I put 1 and 2 before, but I never thought. Yeah, so that's like 4. So it's
yeah,
like F1
yeah, you got like
T0 T.
and my handwriting's horrible. So when I write on a plate, I end up with
Oh,
end
Dude,
up with
that
writing a
reminds
whole plate
me.
like that, and that's only a couple little words. I mean, that's just the date. My plate's covered, but it's just the way it is.
That reminds me another thing. I made a video like about a year and a half ago about how I label plates, and somebody else, because we had briefly talked about labeling plates, they were like, "You stole my idea," and I was
Right.
like, "Everybody labels plates, dude. Like, what are you?"
It's like I don't know. I'm sure you've heard of Whitebeard, right? Whitebeard, he does the drippy corn and a few
Yeah.
other things.
He doesn't like me.
No, well, anyways, I made a video on drippy corn, but I shouted him out. Yeah, I saw that video too. I don't mean to bring up any bad subjects, but I said, this is
Oh, he
Whitebeard.
rags on me every chance he gets. He
Yeah,
fucking says some slanderous shit about me.
but if people would just joke about each other instead of being slanderous, that'd be great. But I made a video on drippy corn. He didn't come at me. What the fuck? I copied his idea, but I did also say I got the idea from him, which I'm sure he got it from somebody else, and so on and so forth. So and then I saw someone else did it, microfeelers. A bunch of people did these things, and I've done them too, just for fun. It's not stealing anyone's ideas. It's just getting it to new audiences. That's my feeling on it.
Same here.
Yeah.
Dude, be honest, all this shit was probably done by some Chinese dude like 100 years ago. Like, I don't know where we get in the volume that like sorry, I read the comment in the volume. I don't know where we get in the community that we've come up with some ingenious shit. It was probably done like 50 years ago by some Chinese guy.
Is that better, JC? I might have hit the volume on my pocket, on my lapel mic thing. I don't know. I might have been talking low. Sorry.
Oh, sometimes the lapel mics are really sensitive to how you got them and where on your shirt. Like if they flip around or something, you like
I got a
cover it
little
up.
thing in my pocket that has a volume control on it. So I'm thinking I might have hit the volume. I don't know. I'll just turn it all the way up and see what happens. Anyway. Okay, let's see. What do we got here? Anything new?
Are you old enough to remember Rodney King?
I remember.
Like, can't we all just get along?
I'm messed up, freaking drunk on the side of the road. Totally abused. I mean, I agree the cops were probably a little overboard on that one, but the guy was also in the wrong.
Oh, I didn't want to bring it up. I'm just saying, do you remember how he said in interviews?
Remember all I'm saying is
we don't do no, let's not go that we don't want to go there.
I'm just saying I don't understand the whole situation, so I remember it, but I don't remember the details. I know everybody was in the wrong somewhere.
I didn't. I just remember the quote. Can't we all just get along?
Yep, I agree. Let's not get into it. Okay, JC, I tried turning it up. We'll see what happens. Let's see, what do we got? Thanks, I appreciate it. Just worried I did something wrong. No, Jambo, you're fine. I missed something. Hi, B. I didn't see you there. Nice to see you. Need the 4 agreements. I agree, B. Okay, let's see. Get temperature constant. Yeah. Yeah, Chuck. I know opposite the yeah, that's I have poor self-esteem, but I still try to treat others with respect. So I guess that's I don't have poor self-esteem. I have weird self-esteem. Let's see. Trying to see if there's any questions here.
Yeah, I watch a lot of those psychologically kind of like things about stoicism. See, there's something I don't know how to pronounce either. Stoicism.
Yeah, I've heard stoicism. That's the way I've always heard that term. I don't know if it's stoicism. I don't know. Stoicism.
Yeah. I said stochastic the other day, and I didn't realize stochastic like kind of means random. I didn't realize it was spelled differently. So like, yeah, the stoicism,
is weird because you say it as someone's being stoic, but you don't have stoicism. That's another one of the weird ones.
Yeah, sometimes people like don't emphasize that ick part. The stoicism or stoic, but I think maybe I heard it. Stochastic is another word. Stochastic, it means like random mathematical, like it's just pure chance.
I agree, Jimbo. That was a freaking hilarious video. I'm not gonna leave that up though. That was funny when you were telling off those guys on Michael Geegee's podcast.
Oh, I've had people I actually downloaded it for posterity because
Oh,
I'm
yeah, okay.
afraid they'll take it down, but it's kind of funny because,
It
they
is.
say, like, any publicity is good publicity,
There you go.
but I
That's
actually
like
heard
one of the
people
first
on
times I
other
heard you. Yeah.
yeah, I heard
Sorry.
people on other podcasts talking about that, and they're like, "These people don't even fucking know me."
Yeah.
Like, they don't know anybody was on that show, and they're just like, "That guy's a fucking dick," and then I saw another guy just a couple few days ago was like, "Oh, I'm gonna report him to YouTube and get
Yeah.
him to" it's like, "Really? You think you're the first fucking person
Yeah.
that's done that?"
And I doubt that's gonna get you kicked off after all the other shit I've seen you do on here. You know,
Yeah, I
smoking
know,
weapons,
really?
drinking,
"Oh,
all
they're
that
gonna
stuff.
I'm gonna report him," and
Yeah.
it's like so childish. It's like, "Oh my god, are we in the 3rd grade?" Like, "I'm gonna tell the teacher."
And the thing on Facebook with everybody getting shut down, honestly, I think what happened is I think Facebook and Meta installed a new AI, and the new AI got too over anxious to shut people off. So I think what it
Oh,
did is
yeah.
it looked for a few things. Okay, if you've been reported this many times and you talk about this, you talk about that, you're going to get shut off or whatever. Because I've seen so many other posts with stuff,
Yeah.
illegal stuff. Fucking somebody's on there advertising their
Mm,
cocaine producing business. It's like, okay,
mm.
how is that allowed? But yet mushrooms aren't. So I think the AI actually just went a little overboard, and
Who
it might,
knows?
yeah,
I've got a ton of pictures I wanna put I've got, like, 8 different things on my bed that I have really nice pictures of, but I don't wanna put them up on Facebook yet. I think I'll wait another couple weeks. But I've got pictures on Spore Swaps, but I don't have them on I don't know, maybe I'll just write some text, but I'm even kind of afraid to mention, like, strains and stuff in the text. I'm like, "Eh."
well, I know I see your Spore Swaps pictures are great. They help me pick out things. I mean, I love the way you do that, where you have
Mm,
you show the actual fruit of the swab you're ordering, which is nice because a lot of people just give you a list of different spores or whatever, and you don't know what they're going to look like or unless you're
mm.
a genius and you don't remember every single freaking strain. But
I've got stuff I've grown. I don't even know what like nightshade. I just grew a nightshade and I don't
yeah,
even know what the hell that's supposed to be. I got spores from somebody like a year ago and I don't remember who. And I've got a big box of spores and I don't really want to go through and like open every single package like to see who that came from? It was one of those I couldn't get it to germinate for a while, and then after a month, it, like, germinated, and by the time it germinated and I got a culture, like, I packed up
yeah,
whoever sent it to me.
yeah. I got. Well, I don't know if you can see it, but behind me, I got all kinds of plates and stuff that I've been organizing. It's kind of, all kinds of plates and stuff back here. I can't really get it.
Mm,
So there. Anyway, I'll get a better picture later. But I've been organizing this new room, so I got 2 shelves full of plates now. So it's kind of fun to try to go through and see which ones are going to be any good or which ones are going bad or whatever. Because half of them are already overgrown, so I got to,
I
there's some
know,
culture ones I
dude.
want.
I don't even wanna think about it.
Oh,
It's out of control. Way, way, way,
I
way out of
understand. I mean,
control.
I maybe have 200 plates, 300 plates going behind me, and I've had to go through them all because I moved into a new area. So I had to take everything out of the old area, and I found a whole bunch of boxes like this of just plates, just stacks and stacks of boxes of plates. And I'm like,
Mm.
okay. I threw half of them away because I either had 30 plates of one strain, and I didn't even realize I did that. Like, why do I have 30 copies of Yeti or Albino Jedi Mind Fuck? It's like, why do I have 30 of them?
Dude,
And then
that
I
got
read
me in trouble with the
back.
mites. I had, like, old plates that were, like, a year old that I moved from another location, and I
Yep.
think when I moved them, they were outside for a bit,
Oh,
and I think they must have picked up some bugs or maybe they were at the old location and I didn't notice them. But, yeah, I'm just getting over that whole mite issue. I think I got it under control now, but old
yeah.
plates are not really great to leave
No.
around if you can remember them.
Well, that's why, like I'm saying, as I'm taking them and I'm
Mhm.
keeping the ones I want, I want to get down to like a base of like a dozen basic strains, like albino, the true albino teacher, GT, B plus. I want to have all the basics. I want to have a good one, like a good copy of everything, and
Good
then
good
start,
isolate, yeah.
yeah, and then mess with them with different other stuff. Because I got so many combinations right now, I have no idea what the hell they are.
Yeah. When you start doing diamonds and then so if you get like 2 or 3 phenos that you like on that diamond fruiting,
Yeah.
That means you'll clone 3, so you'll get another 3 piles.
Yeah, and then each time you do a clone, you want to take more than one, so you get 2 or 3 clones for each pheno. And I must have had 30 plates of Jedi mindfuck that were all different feet, like plate pin, plate pin, plate pin. I'm like, how many plate pins did a freaking clone? Only need one.
Yeah, that's funny. My JMF2, I did the same thing, and then I was like, "I don't need any more," but then I kinda forgot about it for 6
Yeah.
months, and then
It's,
when I went back, it was like, "Oh, all these are fucked," so I barely, like, saved it. So I went from having this, like, 20 stack of, like, JMF to, like, 1 that I could barely save. I'm like, "Yeah, it's just
yeah.
ebb and flow." I thought I could put them in alphabetical order, that was stupid, because then
What
you end up
I found
forgetting.
out is I have to go through every stack every time I want to look for something. I got to go through every stack of every plate, or else I'm not going to find it, and then I'll find it the next day after I did all my transfers.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, my friend wanted AM-1219, and I thought I'd lost it, and I was freaking out for, like, 3 hours, and I was like, but I found, like, 4 other things that I forgot about.
Yeah, I got AM19. I just found that the other day too. I had it on water plate, and I didn't even or water agar. I didn't even realize it because I got
Oh,
that.
when you start
Yeah.
doing the, like, long-term storage and slants and
Oh yeah,
scores and prints and
and the
all that
labeling.
shit.
If you don't like, I'm horrible with organization and labeling. It's just
Ooh.
not my forte for some reason. And I end up having 6 water storages over here, 10 slants over here, this over here, and they're all labeled, but they're not in any one tote. I got to get better at this stuff. I'm getting better. Don't get me wrong. I'm getting better. I have all my totes. My shoe boxes are now nicely labeled. I got nice rows on shelves. That makes a big difference when you have space too. So,
Oh, yeah. Oh, man. Well, when I worked in labs, like, years ago, that's one of the hardest things when you get new employees that I would have to train sometimes. Like, you're just not the average person. I mean, like, systematic. Like, when you've got those little Eppendorf tubes or even something like this, and you've got 20 of them lined up, you cannot afford time-wise or money-wise. I was using these ingredients that were, hundreds of dollars a
yeah,
piece. You can't afford to mix up a fucking tube.
yeah, I'm sure.
Like, it's just you waste your time, or then if you do, you get your results and you're confused by the results. Like, why did the double concentration have only half, it didn't have the effect it should have, and you're like, "Oh, because I fucked up the tubes."
Yeah. See, I don't have that
Like,
experience, so I can't. I
it's
don't have that to
horrible.
draw on. I wish I did, but I just don't.
Well, see, then when you gotta explain it to your boss, it becomes a little more
Yeah.
relevant.
Oh yeah.
Like,
Oh,
when
I've
you're,
had
like,
those
got
situations, but not.
50 of these lined up.
Yeah,
I
and they
hate to
all
say
say
it,
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. You don't know if 1 is better or 50 is better.
you need to, like, oh, with, like, DNA sequences, this is what people don't realize is how easy it is. Like, "Oh, in this tube I have natalensis, in this tube I have penis envy, in this tube I have golden halo," and one of those tubes gets mixed up, and then nobody knows that they were mixed up, and so you end up with these phylogenies that look really weird and nobody understands, and it becomes like it just becomes something that people take as dogma, and, like, my OCD. Now you got me thinking about, like, organizing here.
Yeah, that's funny.
I just found a pen I didn't know I had.
Yeah, I got a drawer full of black markers after cleaning up. I ended up with, I think, over 20 Sharpies. I haven't been able to find a Sharpie in months. All of a sudden, I have 20 of them after cleaning everything and moving everything. So I just got them piled up in a drawer now. Okay, so I don't think we have any more questions. I'm going to try to wrap this up if you don't mind, Ed.
Yeah,
Uh,
you said you gotta go, right?
yeah, I got to be out of here by 1:30, so I got like 10 minutes to get ready to go.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
So thank you for coming. I'm going to stay on for a couple minutes after this just to say goodbye to a few people. But
Cool.
I appreciate you coming on, Ed. Thank you very much. Yeah, it was great having you. Thank you for coming on. And if I have any questions, I'll definitely check you out on Facebook.
Cool. I'll
And
probably go on tomorrow for a live,
cool.
because I didn't get my fix for the weekend.
Well, I tried to give you a little fix here. I just gave you a little sample. You'll be on at
Yeah,
6 in the
thanks.
morning tomorrow.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to go watch some old shit, some old Myco geeky shit or something.
Anyways, Ed, thank you for coming
All right,
on.
man.
Everybody else, stick around for a minute. I'm going to be continuing. Thank you, Ed. So, anyways, guys, now that it's just me, Ed Grant, great guy. Thank him for coming on. everybody's saying goodbye to you in case you'd missed that, Ed. Anyways, I just wanted to reiterate the raffle coming up for this month is going to be one of two different choices. I haven't decided how we're going to run it yet. I would love some feedback. Either email me, message me, leave a comment. We're going to be raffling off a 2x2 fan filter unit, slightly smaller than last month. Basically similar in size to my flow unit over here. I don't know if you can see it. Anyways, that's a 2x2 right there. It's a little deeper than the one I'm giving out first raffling. So it's going to be either a combination of both a 2x2 filter unit and a Presto 23 quart, whatever that thing is, or it's going to be two separate raffles, first and second place, depending on that, or possibly two raffles where you enter which one you want to enter. Tickets are going to be similar in price. They're going to be around 20 to 25, depending on what I do, and there's going to be limited quantities. So keep an eye out for that if you're interested. You can also email me. My email is going to be in the comments in 1 second. There it is. It's right at the bottom left of the screen. MycoAlan, mycology@gmail.com. Email me any questions on anything. I'm more than happy to answer. You can check out my social medias. They're basically MycoAlan, depending on where you go, whether it's Instagram, YouTube, Facebook. It's MycoAlan. Pretty simple. Nerdy, I saw that about the shroom. Wow, thank you. I love it. That's great. You don't have to use my name, though. Just enjoy it. But any other questions before I go? Just let me make sure. Thank you. Yep. Welcome. Yep. Welcome. Anyways, guys, I'm going to be heading out. And like I said, I'm going to make an announcement probably by Wednesday about how I'm going to do the raffle for this month. We've got plenty of time left. I want to do at least two weeks or so of sales for raffle tickets. Going to get a bunch of people in. And again, the rules have changed just slightly. If you win, you're going to be notified. And within 24 hours of notification and we talk, you got to tell me who to send it to. I'm not picking who gets the prize. I want nothing to do with it. If you decide you want to give it to somebody else, do your own thing. But I'm not waiting 2 weeks for a response. I'm not waiting 2 weeks for an answer. You got 24 hours after we communicate. I'm not going to sit there and say, oh, you lose. No, we're going to get in touch. You're going to know that you're the winner. And then within 24 hours, you're going to have to let me know which way to do it. Either send it to you or send it to a different address. I do not want to be involved in your choice. You win, you get to do it as you please. I'm going to ship it once, and I'm going to ship it as soon as the raffle's over because I'm not going to wait and see prices change because as well as I do, a half gallon of ice cream is now a quart and twice as much. So pricing changes all the time, and I don't want to be hit with extra pricing 2 weeks after the raffle's done. Until the raffle, it's on me. It's my problem. But after the raffle's done, it's going to be shipped or ordered within 24 hours or so. That's all. That's the only thing I can do differently. I hope you guys appreciate, the thought behind that because it's not something I want to do. I just want to be able to make it fair and completely random. I don't want anything to do with choice. That's not for me to decide. That's up to fate. That's the random number generator. Hit a button. Winner's a winner. You guys choose where it goes on your own. So if you're thinking of handing it back to me as a gift, I'm not going to do anything but hit the respin button because that's the only thing I know how to do. I'm not going to sit there and discuss it. It's either take it, give it away on your own, or it gets respun instantly. Same time at the same place. And yeah, Jumbo, it's usually like 20, 25 bucks for a ticket. The last raffle was 25 bucks a piece. There were 40 of them. And the recipient was Curious Myco. Actually, the winner was Pheno Dreams. He decided to donate it, and it ended up going to Curious Myco. He put it in his, he has a closet. He's actually working out of a closet. He had built a little broke boy fan filter unit, or fan with a filter thing, a little 10 by 12 or whatever. I don't know the exact dimensions. And he took that out. He put in this beautiful 2x4 fan filter unit. It looks incredible. Actually, I got an idea from him. He had a roll of toilet paper hanging from a roll of paper towels hanging from a clothes hanger. And I actually took one and I made one for my bedroom. It worked out perfect. But yeah, so we're going to have that probably announced by Wednesday. And all the information will be next Sunday. I'll give the finalized stuff Wednesday and next Sunday. Thank you guys for joining me. Ed, Grant, thank you very much for stopping in. I appreciate you helping with some of the questions. And I will have some updates on some of my tubs and stuff this week. I'll give you a little bit of fruit for thought on your way out. Got this nice Hualta. Making some pretty pins. Look at them pretty pins. They're all around the edges for some reason again. I don't know why. But look at those pretty pins. Oh, look at them big boys. And then we get those little boys over here. Anyways, that's some fruit for thought. Much love, guys. Have a great day. And let's see who's here. Let's see. Okay, Mike, have a good day. B. Hendricks, have a good one. Chuck Harper, JC Cat, Jambo, Mike Baraball, Nerdy Nature, nice to see you. I got a bunch of people listed here. Let's see if I can do something here. Okay, well, let me see who's on here except for the list I see in front of me, guys. Sorry. Anyways, thanks everybody for stopping in. I will see you guys during the weekend, next weekend. Any questions, hit me up on my socials or email me at the bottom left corner where it says MycoAlan mycology@gmail.com. Much love, guys. Have a great day.